The Haunting at Iron Goat Trail. Accidents and natural disasters are theorized to leave souls in a sort of limbo. When you visit sites of tragedy, sometimes you can feel the presence of people that have since passed. Some say that the spirits of disaster victims might not know they're dead, and in the following story, it could be a possibility. In the early hours of the morning on March 1st, 1910, an avalanche would take the lives of 96 individuals. The snowslide would occur near Stevens Pass in the Cascade Mountains. This event would be remembered as one of the worst disasters in U.S. history. It would be recorded as one of the worst natural disasters in Washington at the time. On February 23rd, two Great Northern trains would end up stranded near Wellington, Washington after a snow delay. The trains had passed the Cascade Tunnel from the east side of the mountain when the weather had forced them to stop at the location. The heavy snow had made it impossible to clear the tracks, so the trains waited in blizzard and avalanche conditions. On February 26, with the strong winds and snow, the telegraph lines would go down and communication with the outside world would be lost. By the end of February, the weather had gotten worse. Thunderous rain and lightning would enter the area and bring the Cascade Mountains to life. As thunder shook the snow from its resting place, it would bring to life the deadly avalanche. A witness named Charles Sanders would describe the event. White death moving down the mountainside above the trains. Relentlessly it advanced, exploding, roaring, rumbling, grinding, snapping, a crescendo of sound that might have been the crashing of 10,000 freight trains. It descended to the ledge where the side tracks lay, picked up cars and equipment as though they were so many snow-draped toys, and swallowing them up, disappearing like a white, broad monster into the ravine below. Charles Andrews would end up helping rescue survivors who were trapped in the snow-covered wreckage. 150 feet below the rail tracks, they would work through the night. As they labored relentlessly during the hours after the event, they would end up rescuing 23 survivors, many with injuries. After the disaster was over, 96 people would end up losing their lives. Of the 96, 35 were passengers, 58 were employees sleeping on the trains, and 3 would be railroad employees sleeping in cabins near the tracks. After the investigation was completed, the main cause of the accident was attributed to the avalanche, but other factors had contributed to the event. Clear cutting of timber and the sparks of the locomotives had created forest fires. The fires had opened up the slopes above the tracks. This had created ideal conditions for slides and avalanches. Eventually, Wellington was renamed Thai after it became associated with the disaster. By 1913, snow sheds were built to protect trains from snowslides. These tunnels would be constructed over 9 miles between the town of Scenic and Thai. In 1929, a new tunnel was built, making the old passage obsolete. The new tunnel is still in use, and the old passage would eventually become the Iron Goat Trail. The Iron Goat Trail is a 6-mile loop that runs through the forest and past the old abandoned tunnels and railroad tracks. Unfortunately, the tunnels cannot be explored anymore as they are coming apart and considered dangerous. The name Iron Goat would be taken from the logo of the Great Northern Railway corporate symbol. The logo that looks like a mountain goat standing on a rock symbolizes the locomotives climbing mountainous rail lines in the Rockies or Cascade Mountains. In the decades after the pass was closed and hikers began to explore it, there have been numerous encounters with the paranormal that have occurred. People report hearing many noises on the trail and in the now closed tunnels. From the crying of a little girl to the screams of people in horror and the rumbling of an avalanche that is not there. Could these be the remnants of victims of a long lost time, or just the sounds of a forest that has been the witness to a great disaster? Thank you for listening to today's story. Please don't forget to share, subscribe, and hit the like button. For notifications of new videos, you can hit the bell icon on the top right corner or subscribe on Twitter or Instagram. If you would like to contribute your own encounter or story, please contact me at the email below. Thank you, and keep an open mind, for there are things out there that are yet to be understood.